So I would basically lead a group of high schoolers to come up with events that we could throw to spread awareness, basically just turning the data we'd receive into something more communicable to everyone and everyone would understand. And then after that, I got a passion for pharmaceutical, healthcare, PR. It's social media. Sometimes I'll have to take a break because it can be so tiring and mentally draining. But at the same time, I don't think I would ever delete it because I genuinely enjoy connecting with people and sharing things that I've done or even products I like, whether it's a sponsorship or not. But overall, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. I haven't really dove into AI that much, and I'm gonna be honest, it kind of scares me because I know sometimes it spits out information that isn't necessarily true. So especially in the pharmaceutical world, talking about spreading awareness, I get a little nervous to use it just because I don't know what fact it's gonna spit out and whether it's true or not.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Philly Made podcast, the podcast where we build community by learning more about our fellow Philly friends in the business world. I'm your host, Shannon, Penji's partnership coordinator, and I'm joined here today with a very special guest, Kirsten from RX360. Thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Yes, thank you for having me. I was so excited when you reached out.
I'm really excited. It's also great to have a Temple alumni on. I actually, this is maybe the second or third time I've had one on, but it's really nice to someone who's there recently. It's nice to talk about it because I really love that place. So.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a good place. All right. So could you start by telling us a little about yourself and kind of how you got to this point in your career? I know that you're young, but you have done so many things in your career so far. So that's awesome. So you should tell us about it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. So I'm currently a senior at Temple. My major is public relations and journalism. So basically, my freshman year, I ended up getting an internship with this organization called Philly Teen Vax. And they work alongside Penn Medicine and would receive current data on COVID-19 and vaccine updates and stuff like that. And so I would basically lead a group of high schoolers to come up with events that we could throw to spread awareness, social media posts we can come up with, basically just turning the data we'd receive into something more communicable to everyone and everyone would understand. Um, and then after that, I kind of got a passion for pharmaceutical, healthcare, PR. I'd never really thought about that before because when you think pharmaceuticals, you don't really think PR or social media often. So then I got my internship with RX360 the summer before my sophomore year. And they just kept me and it turned into a part-time position where I was the social media manager. Now it's PR and outreach coordinator, keep switching roles.
Many hats as in the marketing world.
So I really love it there. I'm actually going to be working there post-grad. So
congratulations.
Yeah, it's a really great organization. I love everything they stand for, patient safety, supply chain integrity. So that's where I'm currently.
Well, that's fantastic. I actually wanted to ask about, so you have experience also kind of working as an influencer in a way, a social media ambassador. Do you think that having roles in PR and as a social media manager kind of helps you better do better in the roles of a social media ambassador?
Yeah, 100%. I actually, from an internship I had my sophomore year, I was doing a lot of influencer marketing. And that's kind of when I started thinking maybe I should be on the other end of it so I can be better at this and better communicate with them. So I just started reaching out to some brands and I joined Campus Trendsetters, which is like a college organization. And then I also joined the Fashion Business Club where I write articles. So I really love fashion, but fashion PR is very dicey industry. So I knew I wanted to be in healthcare, but I still wanted fashion to be part of my life somehow. So I ended up starting to work with the clothing brand Pretty Little Thing. And they basically just send me clothes and I would style them and everything on social media. And I actually really loved it. So then I would apply for more PR mailing lists. And I actually received a lot of PR, I think also because my major is PR. So I started receiving from skincare brands, makeup brands, And I think overall, it just really shows me the other side of it and kind of, especially when it comes to pricing and what you would pay an influencer per post, it really helped me articulate that because I started to learn what my posts are worth and how I would respond to someone either lowballing me or giving me less money. So, yeah, I've definitely learned a lot through that, and I really love it on the side. So,
That's really incredible to get that kind of knowledge because I think that I talk to a lot of people on this podcast or on my other podcast, Fully Managed. I talk to a lot of people who are in agencies that a lot of their opinion is that when they start at a startup, they kind of get this transparency of being able to understand every part of that business. And I
yeah.
feel like you kind of have a similar experience, but in social media where you've kind of been these different positions that help you kind of do better in any of them because
Yeah.
you're kind of a more well-rounded experience.
Yeah, definitely. And going off that, I kind of have the same experience with R260 and why I really love working with them because for background, when I was 2, I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, so JRA. And so I've definitely dealt with my some bad situations with the pharmaceutical supply chain, whether it's shortages or the quality of the medications I'm receiving, having to do a recall. So when I learned about RC60's mission, I realized how important it is to me personally also. So kind of both my jobs, I have a personal connection to. So it's honestly just really fun instead of feeling like
Yeah.
work all the time. So yeah.
No, I think that's really important, especially it's really nice to be so early on in your career and enjoy what you do because it's not common. And
Yeah.
it's really nice because not only can you be passionate about it, like you believe in a mission, because a lot of people, get their self kind of stuck in the corporate world and it's not something that they enjoy or it's just something that, makes the money. And it's really lovely to be able to resonate with the mission of who you're working for because that is hard,
Yeah.
especially there's a lot of people with missions that they actually don't care about or like they
100%.
advertise that um their their mission is something or they believe in something and then they do things that are counterproductive to that.
Mhm.
And so that's really incredible. So I'm happy that that's your experience and it's really nice to be able to get involved in uh companies that you believe in and also enjoy interacting.
Yeah.
So, do you think that in the future, do you like that fashion is kind of like your side gig kind of thing, and you like that the healthcare field is kind of your center focus, or do you think that you might like switch around at any point when you're
Yeah, I will see what the future holds. I'm not opposed to it. But I actually, when I came to Temple, I wanted to work in fashion PR. That was the only thing I had my mind set on.
Mhm.
Um, but then I realized I really enjoy fashion and all that as a hobby, and I didn't want work to interfere with that or make me hate it. So I
Mhm.
decided to just create a hobby around it. I actually write articles about fashion trends and data analytics of fashion for Temple's Fashion Business Club. So that's kind of my like work away from work because it's just enjoyable and I can write about whatever I want. So it's
No, that's really awesome. It's yeah, it's nice. I completely understand what you're saying because a lot of people will turn something that they love or that they're passionate about into work or a business, and then they end up hating it, and that's the worst thing to do. Like having a hobby and something that you love be a hobby is
yeah.
nice because it's like, okay, I separate myself from this to a level where I'm not um ingrained in it every single day and
Yeah.
I'm not constantly thinking about or dreading it at any point. It's like you can be really passionate about your job, but sometimes it just gets away from you.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you ever okay, so this comes something that comes up on the podcast a lot. I'm
Mhm.
curious if you ever have done anything involved in it. So have you ever used AI in your line of work?
Occasionally, I will use AI, especially if it's like I've used that word a bunch of times in previous captions. I'll like be like, give me another word for this. Or if I need like come up with some relevant hashtags, it's really good for that too. I haven't really dove into AI that much, and I'm gonna be honest, it kind of scares me
No, me too.
Yeah, it kind of scares me because I know sometimes it like spits out information that isn't necessarily true. So especially in like the pharmaceutical world, like talking about spreading awareness and like basically becoming a news source for pharmaceutical like mishaps in the supply chain, I get a little nervous to use it just because I don't know what fact it's going to spit out and whether it's true or not. So, but
That's totally fair.
definitely, yeah, definitely for writing social media captions, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely this is how I feel about it. The longest time I didn't use ChatGPT, I was so worried.
Me too.
I was like, I'm not gonna be able to think for myself if I start relying on this. I
Uh,
was like, I don't really like the idea of that. I'm one of those people that I don't even Google something if I can sort out the problem myself because I don't want to be reliant on looking something up. I'm like, oh, my brain synapses will get rusty and I will get Alzheimer's early on in my I'm thinking it's something I'm constantly thinking about in the back of my head. Yeah. So I was like, okay, if I get reliant on this, I'm gonna, I'm not gonna be thinking enough. But I do think for tedious things, like thinking of hashtags or creating a better caption for something where like it's not necessarily worth your brain power to do, like it's not it would take an extensive amount of time. It doesn't really exercise anything kind of
yeah,
thing. I think those are the best things to use it for. Like
yeah,
I have to create captions for the podcast and I use like three main points that are being discussed or whatever. And the most helpful thing I used to go through every podcast and write the description down myself. And the amount of time that that took was obscene.
yeah,
Because it wouldn't just be not only watching the whole podcast, it's just 30 minutes, but then also like pausing it and then, writing something down and then pausing it again.
yeah,
I just put the transcript in ChatGPT and then they create 3 points for me and they're usually perfect. Sometimes there's like some grammatical errors, but it's
yeah,
been the most helpful thing ever.
yeah. And then you can get more done because that
Yeah.
takes way less time.
Exactly. It's like it was taking up so much of my time and it was so unnecessary. And I was like, why would I should try to utilize this. And it's really nice. It's a really nice tool. I don't like the idea of it like replacing people. That scares me a lot. But also I think that, a computer is never gonna really be able to do the job of a person, especially personalization. Like trying to think of an example. Like a social media advertisement
Mm.
or like a marketing campaign, your ChatGPT isn't going to be able to make a good marketing campaign unless it's absurd. Like it's something that is supposed to catch your eye in a way that doesn't have to make sense. Then maybe
Yeah.
I guess.
But in general, I don't know. Yeah, especially because it's so new. It's like there's still so much unknown with it. I've just been scared to touch it in terms of like PR and social media, except for a quick caption or something. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an intimidating thing. It can be useful. I'm always afraid of new things, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to embrace it a little bit, but it's also terrifying.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really interesting too, because I always thought um, the older generation would be much more fearful of AI. But the more I talk to people on the podcast, the more I see younger people being more wary about it because a lot of people in the agency field love AI. They're like
Yeah.
super embracing it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
So what started your love for social media? Like before that you kind of got involved in it or maybe getting involved in it was what kind of jump started that.
Yeah, so I would say starting in high school, I just always loved posting, especially being so immersed in fashion. I like sharing like my outfits or stuff like that. I was always posting like if I was going to an event. And then especially once I got into PR and learning the analytics of it, I find it all really interesting. Like sometimes I'll go through my own analytics and just see what the new trends are with my page. But overall, I don't really know because it's social media. Sometimes I'll have to take a break because it can be so tiring and mentally draining. But at the same time, I don't think I would ever delete it because I genuinely enjoy connecting with people and sharing things that I've done or even products I like, whether it's a sponsorship or not. But overall, it's kind of like a love hate relationship
I,
because yeah,
so do you think that how are you able to maintain this balance of loving social media, but also not wanting to die? Great way to put it. Perfect. But truly, I mean,
Yeah.
social media is so overwhelming, and I completely understand. I had to turn my notifications off for everything to stop
Yeah.
thinking about it constantly. I still use them, but turning off the notifications actually really help
Yeah,
spread.
things that I definitely take like personal precautions for myself, whether it's turning off a light count, turning off notifications, because these are all numbers that are going to mess with your head
Mhm.
when you compare them to other people. Also on TikTok, the not interested button, love it.
Wait, where is that? Wait, about those? No, where is that?
On the little share arrow, you can click it and then you can say not interested and it won't show you things like that anymore. It's great. It's amazing.
You
Yeah.
know, that would help my sanity so much. I stopped using TikTok. I offloaded the app. It's still on my phone because I always save things to show my friends who don't have TikToks at all. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to keep them. Also, they delete your drafts if you delete
Yeah.
TikTok, which I didn't know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I have it offloaded. But that's
Yeah.
really helpful.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Well, that's really nice. It is nice that there are some things in place that are able to create more of a balance or sanity around
Yeah.
using social media because it can be really overwhelming and it can be consuming of what people think about you all the time, or what people think about how you're feeling or your opinion on something. And it's difficult because I don't know if it's very interesting that it's become so ingrained into our culture, because I don't know if human beings were meant to think about things this much.
Yeah.
But it's part of it, and it's very interesting. And you know um it's definitely, marketing could not be what it is without social media right now.
Definitely. I wouldn't be in this job.
Yeah, that's important. Job.
Well,
Or there's more careers, to be had because social media is.
yeah.
So that's important. So, what, in your opinion, what do you think is the best social media outlet to utilize for your line of work now?
Yeah. So I mainly focus on LinkedIn, which some people don't like. I am a LinkedIn lover. I connecting with people, commenting like in the comment section, learning about new things. I love it. So yeah, for RC60, we mainly do LinkedIn because we're an international pharmaceutical consortium with over 125 pharmaceutical organizations as our members. So we basically want to keep those stakeholders engaged with us and promote that we're honest. We can be seen as a news source. We'll constantly post articles about stories happening in the supply chain, mostly bad stories, unfortunately, because then it shows how important our mission is. So yeah, I would say LinkedIn, and definitely I just think it's very easy to start conversations on LinkedIn because if you post something and another pharmaceutical thought leader comments, then you can comment back with another question and you just get this line of comments, and then it makes you look great because you're having conversations on your LinkedIn post.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would definitely say LinkedIn, specifically for pharmaceuticals, because if I were to say to my boss, let's start a TikTok, it doesn't really make sense because some of our members are just pharmaceutical organizations. They're not going to go on TikTok. So, yeah, we mainly use LinkedIn and we used to use Twitter, but we just stopped using Twitter because also it doesn't really make sense for
Yeah.
the world. So
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people love to, stay with the trends, but I think that there's certain industries exactly like pharmaceuticals that it just literally doesn't make sense. Like, you could make a trendy little TikTok video and that would be really great and probably funny and people would enjoy it, but will it do what you want for,
yeah, like, will
you
it
know,
actually increase any awareness in terms
yeah.
of the customer consumers we have? So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really that's very interesting. I
Yeah.
noticed the trend of different facilities or businesses doing the is it the Gen Z slang videos? And I was thinking about it and I was like, I can definitely understand how this would work for some places, like a zoo. There's a lot of zoos I see do.
Yeah, or even like presidential candidates. I see like stuff like that. Yeah, like Kamala's TikTok.
It's
It's
so good.
crazy.
It's so good.
So good. Whatever Gen Z is behind that is doing amazing.
No, honestly, the marketing Duolingo,
Yes,
perfect
doing
marketing.
everyone's comments. Like,
I need you, if you have not seen that, I need you to go, you're home probably now. I was gonna say go
yeah,
home. I need you to like get your TikTok after this and go on Nutter Butter's TikTok.
I feel like I've seen them comment on things before, but I
It's
definitely will.
unbelievably disturbing.
Yeah,
I literally, it seems like some like satanic cult took it over. I'm
yeah,
actually really disturbed by it, but it's hysterical.
yeah. We're not gonna make a TikTok for RxC16, start commenting on people's like
Yeah, like that would be really funny.
they're like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, no. There's a time and a place, and there's an identity for certain brands that should not be destroyed by TikTok trends. But no, that's sorry.
No, you're good. Maybe we'll get to Instagram Reels. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that that would help. I think that's also I think there's a way. I think Instagram is one of those things that you can still have a aura of professionalization on as long as you stay with your brand. Obviously, I think that when you hop on trends for certain industries, that kind of depletes your professionalization or like your professional identity,
Yeah,
so
that's
to speak.
something I really have to focus on, especially when doing the LinkedIn post, because as you can tell, I talk very conversationally and like,
Yeah.
some people would call it unprofessional, but on LinkedIn, it's very I have to keep the brand voice of RX360. And so it's very like factual, like not how I talk usually. I have to remind myself all the time, like, okay, brand voice, type like this, and that's also kind of where ChatGPT can come into.
To change words. Like
Make it
ChatGPT,
sound more, yeah.
can you change slay to a professional word? Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. LinkedIn caption, I end it with like,
That's actually perfect. But I mean, it's definitely important. It's an important note because I think a lot of people think that hopping on trends will always be good. Or maybe not always be good, but it would be helpful to
yeah,
gain a bigger audience. But I think that it definitely is important to factor in that it's not good for every industry to hop on a trend. Like
yeah,
pharmaceuticals, I think that Instagram is definitely something that could still work if you're doing kind of like infographics or different things like that. That's always something that can work. Obviously, they have to be factual, which obviously would be, I would assume, would be what you would be doing anything anyway when posting. But yeah, I think that's something that's really important to keep in mind when being in the marketing or PR space.
yeah, definitely.
So here's a fun part. We're gonna do rapid fire Philly questions.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay. So now that this was all not fun, I would like that to be all of it is fun.
Laughing would be
That's the best part. No, when I get to laughter in the podcast, when I just sit here going, yeah, so can you talk to me about, and yeah, I don't, those are fine too.
yeah.
But it's nice to laugh.
Yeah, it makes it more fun to watch, I like to think.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I added fun questions afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait. This is a question that I have. It's not related to Philly, but it's a really an interesting question that I've been asking people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not interesting. It's interesting to me.
That's all that matters.
How many eggs do you think you can eat in a day?
Can or would?
Can.
Can?
And it could be any style. You just have to eat them.
Wait, I really have to think about this. I would say maybe like 6 to 8, maybe.
Okay, that's like way normal.
Okay, yeah, I don't like. I'm really thinking about it. Like, because I'm pretty competitive, if it was a competition, 3 cartons.
I was gonna know, like, the highest answer I've gotten on the podcast is 50, which is fucking crazy. But my boyfriend said 9 dozen because he's a psychopath.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't even think about that.
I think that he'd die. Like, I think he'd die. Like, I genuinely think that he would fall over and die from cholesterol uptick. I don't know, but I think that's the funniest thing on the earth. Anyway, thank you for answering my question. I'm going to create a compilation video of these answers after, like, I don't know, the many months that they'll be posted on. But the egg question is the funniest thing. Anyway. Okay, what is the first word you think of when you hear Philadelphia?
I would say community. I feel like the reason I really want to stay in Philly is there's some people I know around here that I don't even have to talk to all the time, but I'll run into them at some point. Like I know I'm going to run into everyone one time over the next year. So it's like really easy to like find your people here, I would say. And everyone's always looking for new friends, I feel like. Cause it's such a community here and I love it. Like we're always trying to support each other, especially when it comes to Philly sports. We have the best community.
Woo! Yeah, no, the most aggressive fan base in the country.
Yeah.
The best fan base in the country.
Aggressive community.
No. Best. That's exactly. That's where the aggression comes in.
Yeah.
Because we're the best. Don't even actually test me at all because we're the best. Don't ask about it or press it because we're the best. Exactly. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. That's actually a really wholesome word to give because most people say rocky. Not that I have a problem with that. It's just a question.
No, I mean it's true, but yeah, I always like people will ask me, "Do you like Philly? Do you want to stay in Philly?" And I'm always like, "Yes, I love Philly." And usually their reactions are like,
yeah, no, people who don't know anything about Philly hate it for whatever reason. Like they don't, and I hate that because I don't know. Like there's so many. We're one of the most affordable cities to live in the country, and it's also fun. There's so many things to do here. It's like a tiny New York City, but it's better and it's not as pompous.
Yeah.
Nothing bad about New York City. It's fine.
Sorry, New York City.
New York City. We're great. We're awesome. Okay. What celebrity do you think of when you think of Philadelphia?
Okay, immediately came to my mind, Meek Mill.
Okay, no, that's great. Actually, that's a new one, which is great because you're younger. That's like a younger answer.
That's immediately who I think of. Or just like Jason Kelce. I'm obsessed with Jason Kelce and his wife. Love that little green outfit at that one game he showed up to. Hilarious. Loved it.
One of my sister's friends was just in a beer competition where he attended and he got to drink. He has like these golden solo cups, like they're gold plated solo cups, and he got one as a gift or a reward for winning the prize money for winning the beer competition, which I thought was amazing. I got to drink out of it. It's crazy. He's like, oh my god, I know things. Anyway, favorite cheesesteak spot if you consume cheesesteaks. You're gonna say your.
This is my biggest fault as a Philadelphian.
Have you never had one?
I've never had a cheesesteak. I know. But listen, I have had a cheesesteak egg roll.
My friend's dad invented them. Fun fact. Isn't that crazy?
Are you kidding me? That's one of my favorite foods.
It's so good. Oh my god. Yeah, no, he I don't know if he has one of them are copyright written. I don't know if it's or trademarked. I always get those two words confused. But one of them is cheesesteak egg roll and one of them is cheesesteak spring roll, I think. And most restaurants use the other because they cannot use the word that he has, which is kind of awesome. Yeah.
I've had so many people say, we need to go get cheesesteaks, but I think, so my stepdad's from South Philly. And so I think I'm just going to give him the reins and say, give me the best one. Because everyone says the whole Pat's and Gino's controversy, but I've heard they both aren't the best.
They both aren't the best. I have one for you. Okay. the guy, Dad, Mr. Dad, Mr. Friend's dad that owns
Yeah.
that made the cheesesteak egg roll. Mr. Friend's dad, he owns a cheesesteak place. He used to be a Michelin star chef and he hated it and he quit and came back to Philly and opened a cheesesteak place.
Wait,
Love
love.
him. He's the best ever. I literally never met him. I just think he's the best ever for making this place awesome. I've been, yeah. He he owns this cheesesteak place in it's literally called Philly Cheesesteak and Co. It is the most basic name ever. It's in Center City in Concourse, I think. Like there's this, you'll see this glass box in the middle of Philly.
I feel like
And
I know
then
what you're talking about.
you go down the stairs and there's like a cafeteria kind of esque place, but it's just a bunch of restaurants. And he is down there. It's the best cheesesteak I've ever had to date. No one knows about it because it feels like hidden, and I think it's just for financial workers that go in that building. I have no idea, but it's amazing. Go there.
If we try, maybe I'll do it.
If they're only open, they're open the dumbest hours ever. It's like work hours from Monday through Friday. So
Friends.
a day that you have off during the week, go there with a friend. It's the best place on the earth, I promise.
Yeah.
Anyway, do that or go with dad. Your dad. No. Okay. What is one small business that you frequent the most?
That's a good question. I would say one of my favorite restaurants right now is Pretty Girls Cook. It's about a month. Oh, it's so good. It's I don't know. When I go, they have like mashed sweet potatoes, mac and cheese, barbecue stuff. It's so good. And they have a brunch too. Yeah. And it's like all woman owned. And I'm just obsessed. It's the cutest little restaurant. And like no one knows about it. Everyone I tell has no idea what it is. But it literally every time me and my mom have gone, and now ever since then, like we're like, we need to go back. It's so good.
Well, thank you for that. God, I love a good food recommendation. That's like I get knowledge out of the podcast, but also get food recommendation.
Best mac and cheese. Best mac and cheese.
Wow, I will really be checking that out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it in North Philly?
I want to say it's closer to Spring Garden.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I will be checking that out. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. Then favorite place for a drink or a meal. This might be the same place. Maybe if you have another one.
For a drink or a meal. Let me think. I actually really love right off of South Street. I'm a huge gnocchi fan. And it's literally called Gnocchi Philly, I'm pretty sure. Have you been at
that place? Yes, I love that place.
It's good. It's like the most authentic Italian place you can go. I'm pretty sure it's bring your own wine. I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a BYOB situation.
Wow. So, no, I love that place. I 100% agree.
That's funny, you know it. Everyone I tell about that too, because it's so tucked off in the corner of South Street.
It's kind of awkward. Like it's not like where everything else is. But I used to work at Lorenzo and Sons, the gigantic pizza place. So I know everything about that area.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to change something about Philly, what would it be?
Oh. I would say specifically at Temple, but overall the greater of Philadelphia, I would just say better police system. Overall, I definitely especially Temple police. There's such a shortage right now, and especially with the crime rates only going up. I wish like city council or something cared more about that and focused more on safety and like preventing things like that. But I feel like, again, like at least on Temple, sometimes like I've had to call the Temple police and they just never get back to me. So it's stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm like, that is not okay, especially because Philly's kind of known for being violent and dangerous and all that stuff. So I wish there was just more precautions for that stuff and actual answers and solutions rather than everyone sitting back and being like, oh, Philly's bad and dangerous, So
yeah, I also wish that they would have a better, that I think that a lot of things start at like the root of the problem, which is like, better education systems or like
Yes.
um more things for so that people don't turn to crime, more
Yeah.
facilities for that. And I think that's super lacking. Yet Philadelphia, I have seen the Philadelphia funding model and it's super corrupt and it's super messed up and they don't put money towards the right things. There's a lot of money that we don't see, which is concerning. And yeah, so I definitely understand what you're saying. I've called
Yeah.
the police for I called the police for a stoplight on Broad Street being out. Like it was on Broad Street main road,
Yeah.
right before Temple, like right by the Met. And it was out and there was like the worst traffic jam I've ever seen in my life. And I called them, but it was the middle of the night. So it was like, I didn't think anyone called them. And I called them and they just hung up with me. And I called them back and I was like, hello.
Yeah.
Wait up.
No, yeah. I was calling for a guy that I found he was really injured. So I was like, hi, this is where he is. I don't know him. And they hung up on me. And then I called back a day later because he was still there.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, hello. So it's now been 24 hours. Like, it's just crazy. But what you said earlier, I completely agree. One of our clients in one of my PR classes right now is the West Park Cultural Center. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Mm.
But yeah, they just come up with a lot of different activities for kids and teens to do, like summer camps, after school programs, and it's all to focus on like preventing kids from getting into like high risk situations in Philly. So I really love working with them. But yeah, I totally agree. There needs to be, I also think funding in like arts and culture would help a lot.
100%.
Yeah, I feel like Philly funding for that is awful. Like the fact that there's schools who don't have arts and music programs, I feel like that should be more of a main focus than it is. Because then you also have kids participating in other things that are educational and creative and stuff like that. So
There's schools that don't even have libraries.
exactly. Like, why is the budget not going there?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Something that I'm really big on, and this is possibly a controversial opinion, but I think that temples should provide free schooling to the area code that they're in.
Yeah.
I think that would I genuinely think that that general idea would deplete crime so much in the area because
Yeah, I completely agree.
if people got free college, I think that there would be like education is so important when people think that they're able to like go somewhere with their lives.
Yeah.
They're like crime, like the statistics are insane for being able like better education leading to less crime. And I just think that if Temple actually served the community that it exists in because it did disrupt it so much, that I'm huge on, I just wish that they did more because yeah, like I definitely agree that the safety precautions are not enough. As living there myself. But I think that there's so many things that they're not even thinking of they
Yeah.
could do. And, even just adding more people to police the area is probably not going to stop the crime. It's just going to make people feel safer about being there. But that doesn't mean that it's going to and that I think that's just going to be for the students too, not for anyone else. So I think they can do a lot more. Temple can do a lot more. They make so much money, but I love them.
That's this idea about the tuition, because maybe it would make people less upset that we did all come in and just completely change the area.
Yeah.
If we could provide people with free tuition, or I'm pretty sure it's a middle school or a high school is like right down the street from me.
I probably lived where you've lived. I think.
Yeah. So there's so many teenagers. So they already like, most of the time, a lot of teenagers after school will come hang out on Temple campus. If they could see the campus and then be like, oh, I can go there after school.
Right.
It would be great.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. It'd be so wonderful. Yeah. And I really just, I'm so getting off track, but
Yeah. You did.
like
And so
living in that area, like I have had some of the nicest neighbors I've ever had in my life. Like, despite the fact that the crime is bad, like native Philadelphians living next to me being like the nicest, sweetest people I've ever met in my life. Like for everyone. And like, I don't know. I think that a lot of people be like, when there's crime in the area, these people are just bad people. No, they just have no other option. Like and I think that Temple has the ability to do so much, but does so little.
Exactly.
You know,
I completely agree.
loved my education, but you guys need to do more. Call to action. I'm sorry you're still going there. It's not like they're gonna see this.
That's pretty good.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys. Love Temple, but
Revokes your tuition.
yeah.
Like I heard you said something bad about us on the podcast, so we're just gonna kick you out.
Too late.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I 100% agree. Anyway, last question. Let's end it on a high note. Okay. What's your favorite neighborhood in Philly?
I've actually been thinking about that a lot recently because I'm thinking about moving in another area of Philly post grad. I would say personally right now I'm thinking Fairmont area. I just think it's such a cute little like all those stores and restaurants right on the same street, and it's very, I don't know how to describe it, with the parks. It's very peaceful there. I feel like you're in the city, but it's more of a slower area of the city, and then you could just easily take the BSL to Center City, Walnut Locust, and stuff like that. So I think that's one of my favorite areas right now. Like often me and my friends will just go there on a Sunday and just walk down the street. Yeah, I love it there.
I do really love Fairmont. I used to work at a bar there. It was my first job in Philly. It is awesome.
What was it called? Because I used to work at a bar there.
It's not there anymore. It closed forever. It's called the London. It was across from Amano. That's still there. Go to Amano. I don't know if they have the same chef that they had when I went there like a while ago, but it's like a Spanish Italian fusion. I could be botching that. I could be botching that so much. Like it could not be either of those. But I think it is. I don't know, but it's really good regardless. They have like tapas. They're really fucking good.
Love. Yeah.
Anyway, this is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for this lovely conversation. Thank you for being so youthful and having this lovely conversation with me. Again, yeah, it's really nice to be able to talk to people around my age. Not that it's not nice to talk to older people. I love them too.
Yes.
I love everyone. But thank you so much. And this was absolutely lovely. I learned a lot. And I also got some food recommendations, which is the best part.
No, I had so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you. And everyone that's watching or listening, don't forget to like and subscribe to see more of our Philly friends on the show. Thank you so much.